Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Welcome to another Wednesday Short Shifts powered by Skate Tech. In case you guys didn't know, Skate Tech skate sharpening and equipment repair brings you NHL quality service at an affordable retail price. With over 23 years of sharpening and equipment customizing experience, Skate Tech serves as your personal equipment manager, providing the highest quality skate sharpening, blade profiling, team uniforms, and equipment alterations available on the market today. Let Skate Tech help you take your on-ice performance to the next level with the edge the pros trust. Check them out at skatetechsharpening.com.
What's up, everybody? Short Shifts episode. We got 10 minutes on the clock. Jeffrey Jehu Lavecchio has no idea what the topic is. But should he choose to hop on this magic carpet ride with me and be my co-pilot, then we will have a fun conversation. Jeffrey, are you ready? Princess Jasmine.
I can show you that. I was singing that yesterday with my daughter, actually. So awesome.
Was it shining, shimmering, and pleasant?
It
Or
was.
Splendid?
Splendid. Yeah, come on.
Yep. Sorry. My bad. Okay. Love, one of my favorite topics we're going to talk about today. And I think it's one of your favorite topics too. This is something that everybody talks about players need. One of the most important things that players need. However, it comes out in different ways. So let's talk about it. Jeffrey Jehu Lavecchio, what does it mean to compete? What does compete level mean to you?
Ooh.
Competing is one of the most important things in hockey, bro. What is compete level to you? Let's go.
For me, it would just be doing anything you possibly can to win. Like that's anything.
So what does that mean, though? Like, what does that mean on the ice?
Outside
What are
of cheating.
situations like?
Well, I think it's more of, honestly, I think it more starts from like a psychological base, working with so many players over the years, especially younger players. What I've seen is that a lot of players are afraid of messing up, are afraid of failing, are afraid of looking stupid when they're trying. And they have to kind of be helped along by coaches that you don't think about that. You just go out there and you do it as hard as you can, as best as you possibly can. And you're going to learn from that situation and you're going to get better and you're going to do it smarter the next time and harder and all these things. So I think it actually, like, if you reverse engineer it even more, it's more of a psychological thing, getting players to compete as hard as they can, because a lot of young players hold back on competing as hard as they could because deep down they have this fear of, well, like, if I let it all out there and I let it fly and I don't win, I'm going to be embarrassed and all the kids behind me in line are going to laugh at me or, so they literally will hold themselves back from competing as hard as they could. So I think it's something where coaches need to teach that. They need to provide an environment, and I'm not talking about making kids wimps or being like, oh, feelings, you'll be okay if you lose. Like, not like that, but just teaching them that, like, you get better by going all out, whether you win or lose, going all out as hard as you can, as smart as you can, all those things, competing to the best of your abilities is how you're going to find that next gear, find that next level. And I think it needs to start with an environment where it's okay if you lose and we want you to lose because you're going to learn.
It's so funny, man. Like, so one of the questions that I was going to ask you was like, can you teach compete or is it just innate?
Yeah.
I'll let you answer that real quick. Go ahead.
100% you can. There's no doubt about it. What's hard is keeping your mind calm and being able to think while you're competing. But you can definitely get kids to just like go as hard as they can. There's working hard, there's working smart. The best competitors are doing both at the same time all the time. There's a method to their madness on top of emptying the tank. Yes, you definitely can. However, there are some people or some players that I think just they're just naturally competitors and they just
It's
like
not a
want
yes
it.
or a no. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like there's some guys who I've coached some kids now since they were 9 years old, and now they're Division I hockey players, and I've had them every single year. And the ones who at 9 were the most intense competitors are still the most intense competitors at 19, 21, you know, things like that. So, yeah, I don't know. What are you saying?
It's funny. So you talk about compete level, like, so people that I know that like don't know me as a hockey player or like an athlete, it's so funny because like we'll play a board game or something, or do some sort of competition, and I'm just getting rattled if like my team's like losing, and they're like, whoa, like this is a different side of you. So like in anything, I think certainly there is a nature and nurture. It's not one or the other, it's like in between. Like you can, like, just how you're wired, be 100% more competitive. But also I love the point that you made there in like the nurture conversation, where like sometimes kids don't want to compete for fear of failure, fear of repercussion from a coach, fear of judgment, whatever it may be. And like we talk about this a lot, like the environment that you create is a huge part of bringing that out in people, a huge part of bringing that out in people. So like if you want kids that are competitive, like do competitive drills and put something on the line and make it fun. that can bring out the competing people. And I've said this before on like other podcasts, but like when you get older, I think you can teach it more when you're younger, and it kind of becomes a little bit more fixed as you get older. So like when I was recruiting, and if I were to ever go back into that, like as a scout in junior hockey or the NHL or like a college recruiter, like I would not recruit another kid ever that didn't compete. Wouldn't do it.
Ever.
I wouldn't commit, because for me, compete is a sibling of passion. If there are very few kids who don't compete that love to play hockey. Most kids who compete love the game. There are some that don't, but like they love to compete. So I feel like that's a big thing. Like the passion, love for the game, and compete for me go hand in hand. Would you agree?
100%.
Yeah. And the other thing that I think is really important to know is that like if you talk to 10 people, you might get 10 different answers on like the one that I asked. What is compete? Like, what does it mean to compete? Like you gave your answer, which is great. And then there's other people that would say like, okay, there's the puck and you and me are equal distant to the puck. Who wants it more? That's a compete. Like there's other compete of like, who's the hardest working player on the team as far as like their habits. Like they're competing with their, like how hard they work and how much effort they put into everything that they do. Like that's compete. How much passion you have for the game. I would love to, I think that Alex Ovechkin is one of the most competitive players in the NHL. If there's a 50-50 battle, he's not going to be the one that's always going to win that battle. But my God, does that guy love to score hockey goals.
Score hockey?
My God, does he love to score goals. And so like it comes out in him. Sidney Crosby, his competitiveness is very different than Ovechkin, which is very different than Connor McDavid, which is very different than Nathan McKinnon, which is very different than Austin Matthews. You look at all 5 of those players who are at the top of the heap as far as the NHL, very different in how I would define their compete and their passion and love for the game, right? So like I do think it comes out in different ways, but for me, at the grassroots of it, if there's a puck, who wants it more? Who's coming out with the puck? Like at the end of the day, that's if I had to break it down to one, that's it for me.
I love it. Just throw it out there like tryouts and Happy Gilmore. That's my puck. Don't you ever touch my puck, baby.
Touch my puck, baby.
Yeah, but
yeah,
no,
I think
man, like I've seen a lot of kids come through my doors, years ago when I used to train younger players and like real young, and some of the kids would be holding back, and I could see that they were holding back, and in the younger age, it's like getting them to, I've seen it so many times. They're afraid to fail when they don't let their like complete competitor come out. And it's just getting them to realize like, oh, if you lose this one match, like it's not a big deal. Like you're going to go again. And 2 seconds, and just it's going to make you better, and losing is part of getting better and things like that. And once you get kids to understand that, they compete even harder because now they're not worried about anything and they're just going to go out there and try and win that puck every single time.
Yeah. And one last note here, because we only got a few seconds left. And I've mentioned this, I think it was maybe even a recent podcast, but I listened to Gary Vee talk. And if you don't know Gary Vee, serial entrepreneur, he's got millions of followers on social media, put some great stuff out there. And one of the things that he talked about is like, if you have a child that's a younger child or even older that gets really upset after they loses, starts crying or throws things or takes their stick and bashes it on the wall. It's like, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, I was that way as a kid. I was that way 100%. Like, you had to talk me off the freaking ledge if we lost a hockey game and I didn't play well, because like I wanted to win so bad and hated to lose so much. And I think that has benefited me so much in everything that I do. And so like sometimes we try to like beat that out of kids, like stop, like, stop crying or stop embarrassing yourself for doing that or whatever. What's that?
Act like a pro. I hate when people say that to little kids. You're not a
years old,
pro.
yeah.
You don't need to act like a pro. You're a kid.
Yeah. So obviously like that's a teaching moment and we can help them to maybe redirect their feelings a little bit, but like, don't beat that out of kids. That's a special thing in my eyes. If you hate to lose that much, that's going to serve you later in life in whatever that you do. You're going to be competitive. And I think competitive people do special things. So what is compete level? This is one of my favorite things to talk about. One of my favorite topics to talk about. Again, like I said, I'm a big believer that compete is right there with love for the game. And at the end of the day, if you love the game, you're going to get better. If you love the game, you're going to get better. You're going to work harder. You're going to work with more intention. And that ultimately, at the end of the day, is what we want to preach to all these kids is development and getting better every day. And I think the most competitive kids that I've coached and played with, those are the ones that get better every day because they love what they do. So short shifts, great stuff, Vex. Share the show.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.